Throughout the human race's exploration and exploitation of the earth, irreparable damage has been caused to the world we call our home. Frequently, our species was reckless. Actions were taken without knowledge, or even the contemplation of consequences. Entire species and ecosystems have been demolished, either through hunting or simply through an unfortunate combination of ignorance and negligence. Unlike our past mistakes, our largest current problem has been staring us in the face for the last half of a century, and that problem is the loss of our polar ice caps. Data has been piling up since we became aware of greenhouse gases and CFCs in the 1970s. All of these point towards one simple conclusion. Soon, our planet will reach a tipping point from which there can be no return. With problems as large and as wide-ranging as global climate change, it is often easy for individuals to rationalize their inaction. This, however, cannot be tolerated. According to the United Nations, over 40% of the world's population lives within 100 kilometers, or approximately 37 miles, of the coastline. This may seem unrelated to melting polar ice, but those people are at the greatest risk to the obstacles presented by global climate change. As recorded by National Geographic, the rate of sea level rise, as well as the rate of melting ice, has doubled over the past 20 years. This accelerating process creates new threats to coastal areas, cities, and to each of their residents. Over the past 50 years, Arctic sea ice has decreased by almost 4.5 million square miles. This change in ice disrupts the currently understood ocean ecosystem and the motion of large quantities of water through ocean currents. These currents move nutrients and with them organisms that coastal communities rely upon. Additionally, these currents heavily impact local climate by either warming or cooling the air above them, influencing precipitation patterns. This would impact the relative frequency and severity of storms upon each of these regions. The most heavily impacted regions would be population centers and low-lying coastal areas. As sea levels rise up to 6.5 feet within the next 50 years, cities around the world will be placed in extraordinarily dire situations. 5 of the top 10 cities at greatest risk of flooding are located within the United States. The World Bank's top 10 cities placed Miami, Florida at the greatest risk, and it was grouped with Guangzhou, China, Shenzhen, China, New York, Tampa, New Orleans, and Boston of the United States, Mumbai, India, as well as Nagoya and Osaka, Japan. As these cities flood with an increasing regularity, the economic impacts will be catastrophic. It's estimated that nearly $6.5 billion will be spent annually in cleanup following the events within the next 25 years. The environment will be increasingly degraded as pollution enters the ocean and as floods destroy the incredibly diverse coastal ecosystem. Additionally, costs of evacuations and reconstructions following these storms will be greatly detrimental to the local economy and will reduce tourism as well as people's willingness to move there and live there. If a campaign against global climate change is to succeed, people must not only acknowledge that it is a problem, but recognize that it is everyone's problem, not one that can and will be solved by others. Each individual must be a willing participant in the discussion and the action surrounding the efforts to find a solution to this problem before it's too late.